All right, so today we're just gonna do a video. I'm just gonna do an unboxing video of my new power auger. So I've got a big project I wanna do in the backyard. So I'm building a pergola and I got a bunch of holes I need to dig. And I've always wanted a power auger to do that. So I've rented it a few times. It costs like $300 to rent it for 4 hours from Kennards. Or for $300 or less than $300, you can actually buy your own one. So that's what I did. So this is a giant 92cc two-stroke auger. They're imported. You can get them off Amazon. You can get them from eBay, probably a bunch of other places as well. I just went to a local hardware supplier that imports them, and they end up doing it cheaper, and they threw in some extra augers as well. So really good deal from them. I'll make sure I post who that was. I can't remember what the business was called, but yeah, they're local to me, so went and bought them there. Yeah, so we're gonna open this up, have a look at what we got, and we'll go from there. See if it drills some holes, which I hope it does. I've got some pretty rough ground outside, so we'll see how good it actually is. And then I'll see if I can either recommend it or not recommend it, because I haven't used one of this brand either. So I guess we'll find out. 92cc is one of the bigger ones, so I was kind of really keen to see if it does work, because if it works, it's awesome. If it doesn't work, well, I guess I have to find something else. But yeah, let's go. So it comes in two boxes. You've got the smaller box, which has, well, it looks like the main unit, so the motor and the auger, so the motor and gearbox side of things. You've got some hearing protection, comes in the box. Yeah, I guess they're not great, but they might be good for something. I'll just chuck them in the PPE box. You get a mixing jug or mixing container for mixing your two-stroke fuel. And I know there's some special guidelines to that on this for the first however many hours of use. It comes with a, oh, look at that. Comes with a toolkit. So it comes with, what's it got in here? Flat screwdriver, star screwdriver, looks like a 70mm and 13mm socket attachment on either side. And you've got an 8 and a 10mm spanner. And you've got two hex keys. Looks like a 5mm and probably a 3mm hex keys. So probably won't be using any of those, but at least it comes with them. You've got, what else have we got in here? Got to get that out. So I got some instructions here. I got some instructions, so we'll have to look at them. Some safety glasses. So it comes with safety glasses. These are not that good. And yeah, actually, there we go. I don't know how good these are. Your eyes are pretty valuable, so I'd recommend you just get a good set, to be honest. And then it comes with some gloves as well. So these look like they're just cotton. Don't look like they're cut resistant or anything. I'll see if I can fit it on my hand. Nah, they're a bit too small. So they're too small for my hands, but I guess they'll fit somebody's hands. I'm not entirely sure why you would wear cotton gloves, but that's what it comes with. Just stick to riggers gloves if you're working outside. Here it is. Oh, here's the auger itself, or the motor itself. So it says, here we go, Giants. There you go, Giants, 92cc. We've got a part number and serial number there as well. I'll just chuck that away. First impressions, a little bit, obviously a little bit cheap as far as the build quality, but for the price point, I mean, can you really blame it being a little bit cheap? Looks like a few things maybe a little bit loose here. Yeah, so switch, that's pretty common. So it's a lock, hold this down, pull it in. If you let go, you can hold the throttle in. So if you want to like run it with a choke, if it's cold, start, stop, yeah, the switch is a little bit soft. First thing we're going to do as well is I'll show you how to disassemble this little gearbox. because I've heard sometimes they ship these without grease in them, so I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I'll have a look at the augers now. So, Alright, so here's the attachments, what it should come with. Hopefully it comes with everything that's on there. I'll show you the manual as well, came with it. So I'm only really interested in starting it, stopping it should be pretty easy. It's more about what are the fuel ratios recommended in here. Here we go. I knew there was something. Alright. So have a look at that. You can pause it if you want to read it. They're the fuel ratios. So 25:1 the first 3 months as it's new. So you need a little bit more lube, a little bit more oil, ideal. And then after 3 months of use, it says to switch to a 40:1. It doesn't say hours though. So I don't really know how long that is in hours, but probably just go 10 hours, run it at 25:1, and then 40:1 after 10 hours of use. You can just time it yourself if that's possible. Yeah, pretty simple. We'll look at that after if I need it. All right, let's have a look at the augers, see what we got in here. So, we've got a lot of cardboard. Heaps of cardboard. All right. Packers. All right, so a lot of auger attachments. This is a lot more than I was expecting actually. But I think, yeah, so technically with these, so I've got three extension bars and they're about, they look like 900 long or 750 long. All right, so we've got first extension bar is about 600 long. It's 2 at 600, and we've got one at 800 as well, 800 mil. All right, we've got the augers themselves. So I've got a 100 mil auger here. I'll be honest too, these are really sharp. I actually wasn't ready for that when I grabbed it. These are incredibly sharp. Wasn't expecting that. We'll make sure these are tight before we use them as well. They've just got little countersunk hex head screws in them. It's hard to see that, but you can see that there. So that's your 100 mil auger. Fairly good quality. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff, but seems all right. So 100 mil. Got a 200 mil. 200 mil. Similar quality, very sharp. Claws on here as well, and you got socket head caps holding them in, which is good, so we can replace them if we have to. And they've got nylock nuts as well, so that's your 200 mil auger. And the one that we're going to be using, 300 mil auger. This is quite large. It's very large. It's got a slightly different attachment here at the bottom. So, yeah, so that one here, there's your pin. So this pin here will go into your extension or the base of the motor, or the gearbox, I should say. And this one is slightly different. So this has got, instead of your cap screws holding these blades in, these are just welded in. So obviously it's different type of work. 300 mils, obviously more substantial. It's also got a little plastic cap at the end. Let's see what's on that. With a little masonry bit welded onto it as well. So yeah, I guess we'll see how that one goes. That's the one we need to use, 300 mil. That's actually what I bought it for. The others are just in case I ever need anything else. So I'll put them there. And we'll move all this stuff. It's also got, not entirely sure what these are for yet. A couple of these little spade bits. Comes with 2 of those. They're threaded as well. Looks like M8 or M10. We'll go. We'll chuck a bolt on there and see what they are. They look like M10. There we go. Yeah, so they got little M10 spade bits here. I'm not entirely sure what they're for yet, but we've got them. Just quickly, first thing we're going to do is we're going to check this gearbox. We're going to take this gearbox apart and make sure that it's got all the grease in it that we're hoping for. So shouldn't be too hard. I'll check this bearing first. I'll take this plate off. I can already see some of this stuff is loose, so definitely should check these. I'm going to take this. Let's see what part of the plate I need to take off to get to that. So I've got this here, slides in, that slides out of the frame. So that's plugged into it. So to get to this gearbox, I'm going to need to take these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out. I'll cut this off. This cable tie's got to come off. That should be enough actually to get me access. But I shouldn't need to unplug it because there's probably enough slack here, but we'll just do that first. So we'll just get rid of that. We can always put that back on. All right, so that gives us a little bit of slack here. You can see, just a little bit of slack. All right, and then we'll get these off. So I've got I think it's 5mm. Yeah, 5mm Allen key or hex key. And we're just going to loosen, oh, that one's loose already. So I'm glad we're taking that off. And we'll take this one off. All right. Yeah, they're all loose. They're all very loose. So I guess if you are doing this, might be worth, let me just see if I can put its head. Yeah. So to speed up this process a little bit, I'm just going to use this. There we go. I got these King Chrome Impact hex tools. They're actually awesome. So we'll just speed this up a little bit. All right. Yeah, I'll be honest. These weren't even in tight at all. So if you do find yourself getting one of these, I would highly recommend you take that off. You take this off right away and just check it, because I'll be curious to see what else might be loose here. So I've got this little gearbox here. All right, so what I'm going to do is take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 off. So we get them out. Yeah, you can use a hex. Just use a hex if you've got one, but I just want this to be a bit fast. All right. So we've got a bearing on the top of this as well. I'll just show you what that is. All right, so as you can see, there's a bearing, and it's a 6004 RS. Any bearing supplier will be able to help you out with that. So we'll just take this off, just so we can have a look. And as you can see there, ours fully greased. So no problem there. Ours should be okay. So that's good to know. Just check it, just to make sure, because I'd rather check it and be wrong than not check it and have made a mistake. So you got your little grease nipple on the back here. So we'll put this back together like this. Put this back on. All right, fix that in there. We'll put that back together, put all of our little caps back in. Now that we know it's got grease in it, and we'll put this back on. So whenever you buy some of this stuff, this import stuff, I know this with dirt bikes. I used to buy these Atomic dirt bikes. I had a couple of them. They do forget to grease things, and they do forget to torque stuff down sometimes. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you do it. It might be worth it. All right, they're all in. We know we got grease there, so we're just going to take these out, and you can't fit. So it's M8, but you can't fit that in there. So let's break these. All right, so there's your clutch. So we'll have a look at that. Got your clutch, which will slip. I'll show you this. So your clutch will grip to this. So as the clutch spins and the RPMs get higher, what happens is, everything looks okay here. We'll just make sure everything's tightened down. All right, so how this works is, as the engine spins, as the motor spins, I should say, these clutch plates open up and they grab. So these things here are like brake pads, and they grip and then they spin the other part of the gearbox. So if I just flip this over, so they grab the inside of this and then they spin that around, and that's what gives you the actual drive to the rest of your auger. Torque this all back down, put it in properly, put it together properly. We'll fill it up with some fuel and we'll test run it and see how it goes. All right, so we've filled this up with a bit of 2-stroke fuel mixture. We've gone the, according to the manual, we've gone to the 25:1. It comes with this bottle. So I don't know, if you haven't used one of these before, they're pretty simple. So we needed about 1 litre. So what I did was just fill that up to 500 here, and then fill up the rest of the way to this 1:25 ratio mark. Just did that 2 times, and then put it in the petrol tank. That was done. We could check the spark plug as well, just for you know, just for checking sake. It's locked in here. So you get to the spark plug, that's, I guess, another Allen key. All right, what have we got there? What size is it looking like? I got a 19mm deep socket here. That looks good. See how tight this is. Tighter than hand tight. There we go. Oh yeah, looks all right. At least it's clean. Not sure what that brand is. L7T. And we've got Gidrick. Put that back on. All right. That's good to go. Put this cap back on. All right, that's in. All right, we're ready to test run. So I'm just gonna take this out to the backyard where I'm gonna use it, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're ready to run. Here, it's full. You got your, if I get this on the angle here, where you can see it. All right, so you've got your run and start, your choke here. So we'll put that to start because it's cold. Pump some fuel into the carburetor. There we go. Make sure we got our start switch on. And then we're just going to rip it. See how we go with that. Put this in. That's ready to go. Just spin that around. That should be ready to start. Well, it wants to go. All right, let's rip that again. It's good. It's just I got a lot of clay, a lot of bricks and rubble and stuff under there. So I think I need to still hit it away a little bit with the shovel, but it's definitely doing the job. What I might do is find another spot, maybe it doesn't have as much rubble and whatever in it, and we'll try again maybe with a smaller auger, just see if we can get all the way down. Yeah, we'll have another go with something else. All right, so 300 mil keeps getting snagged on bricks and whatever else. So I'm going to throw in the 100 mil, see if we can at least get all the way down, and we'll see whether we can at least drill down with the 100 mil. All right. I reckon it should just start up. So there seems to be no issues at all running the 100 mil auger down there. So we might take this off and then run the 200 in the same hole and see if it sort of comes out any better. It's probably important to mention this. This is after one hole. Already bent that pin. So that's the pin that holds the auger in position. So it's already been bent just from running that 300 mil auger in. Not very good. Not happy with that. I mean, you can replace it with a bolt or something, but you shouldn't be shearing a pin so early, or bending a pin, I should say, so early. Cool. So for the material, for the ground type I have here, it's probably not suited for it. I've got a lot of clay and a lot of rubble. So from where the builder's finished up, this is the kind of dirt we got here. It's really thick clay. Now it's cutting through it, but as I showed you before, it's damaged one of the pins, the pin that holds the auger to the motor. So yeah, maybe it isn't designed for that. I've noticed a bit of grease sort of coming out of the seals here too, where it's under a little bit of pressure. The gearbox is a little bit hot as well. So maybe this is not the kind of work it's really designed for. 300 mil auger, fine. That was all right. That seemed to go through pretty good. Didn't have issues with that one. 200 mil, still problems with 200 mil. 300 mil, a lot of problems. Am I going to persist with it? I probably will, just because I have it now. But if you just needed 4 holes, which is really all I need right now, I probably wouldn't buy it. I'd just get a hydraulic auger, rent a machine, drive it in if you've got access, and just use a hydraulic one, because you'll get through first go. The job will be done. This is going to take a little bit more working around to get it to work, but it's fine. I guess we'll go from there. It's light, so that's good. Easy to use. The control, it starts really easy. It runs nice. I didn't find any problems with the controls or anything. They're a bit flimsy, but I guess if you look after it, it'll be okay. You probably get a lot of good life out of it. Cheap, I guess. I ran it for, how long? I didn't run it for very long, but I've hardly used any fuel, so that's good. Yeah, overall, I'd say maybe, depending on what you're using it for, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, depending on what it's for. If you've got soft soil, it'll be a 10 out of 10. If you've got soft soil and you only need to dig like 600 or 900 mil holes, 10 out of 10. For that, perfect. For the kind of soil I have here, unfortunately, I'd probably go not really that good for what we're doing, but I will persist. So when I start this big pergola build, I'm still going to be using this. So I've got it now. I'm going to persist with it, even if it's harder. But yeah, so overall, not too bad. Main takeaway points. Bolts were loose when we purchased it, so out of the box, bolts were loose. So make sure you torque all them down. Check the gearbox. There really wasn't much grease in there, so it's got a little grease nipple on there. I would recommend adding some grease as well, just to make sure there's enough in there. It's getting kind of hot, so that's to say maybe there's not enough. Fuel mixture, 25-1 seems to work really fine, so just do that. Airbox was clean, pulled out the air filter. It's not really a filter, it's just a bit of sponge they've thrown in there, cover the hole, but it's clean, so it looks all right. Machine handles and works fairly well. So yeah, I would recommend it. Like I said, based on your soil type, it could be a 10 out of 10. If your soil is a bit clay, like this, then probably would be more like a 5 out of 10 for this application, but overall pretty good. And for the price point, it's like 260 bucks. You can't really complain too much, but yeah, I got some holes to dig. So I'm gonna start this pergola really soon. I've got some posts I've got to weld together, but yeah, we'll start that big pergola project, and I can't wait to have a pergola out here finally. Because as you can see, this space is a little bit bare. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.